All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Talking Hands. We are back live previewing UFC Fight Night. Derrick Brunson versus Shahbazyan. As always, I'm your host, Preston Ekdahl, joined by my co-host, Jeff Slaughter, Slaughterhouse1 on Twitter. Jeff, how's the week going?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Doing good. We've started off the week early with the two-team baseball parlay that we hit. Yep. Late night dogs come in again.
Yep.
And we're still riding that high from last week with a $500 bet on We're Doomed. So been enjoying the week. Looking at this card, this is exactly why we do our show on Friday night, because we've lost two of our probably best bets of the night. And we got a short card, so the show should be quick.
Yeah, we had Jonathan Martinez missed weight today. That fight is still going on versus Frankie Science. What's his face? Marcus Perez dropped out. Ray Borg dropped out. The Marcus Perez fight, they found a replacement for it. No, his opponent dropped out. Eric Spicely dropped out. They found a replacement. The commission didn't okay the fight. I'm not sure what happened there. So that fight's no-go. And then Ray Borg drops out. His opponent gets a new fight, late notice fight, Johnny Muniz Jr. So, yeah, like Jeff said, I think this is going to be a quicker fight. There's not a lot of fight tape, and we were just notified today of some of these replacements. So we can start here. We open the card up with Chris Gutierrez taking on Cody Durden.
Yep. So Gutierrez comes in at minus 305. Durden comes in at plus 245, over and under 2.5, over minus 195, under plus 160. Man, this is a tough one. This is a tricky fight. Everyone's high off Chris Gutierrez coming off a big win. Pretty much we know what he can do with his leg kicks. He destroys people, especially his last fight, Morales, right? He pretty much kicked him to death.
Yeah.
And the difference is here, he's not Gutierrez is fighting a guy that's fresh off a 2-week win just 2 weeks ago. And I don't know much about Durden, and I'm not going to sit here and try to bullshit with y'all, but from what I read and from what some podcasts that I listen to and people I respect pretty well, they are very high on Durden. The kid, from what I can tell and read about and the few things I have seen, he presses forward. He's tough as nails. He has about maybe a little bit disadvantage in the striking, but very slim. Besides the Gutierrez's kicks, I think Cody's probably the all-around better MMA guy. Pushing forward, heavy grappler. And I think he has a path to victory with Gutierrez. We know Gutierrez is great, in the striking department. Good soccer background with the soccer kicks. Obviously, you've seen that. But man, he gets on his back. He has pretty lousy takedown defense. He scrambles okay, but someone like Cody Durden, I could see just hold him down and probably beat the hell out of him. So it's a tough fight for me. And to lay minus 305 on someone, and let's be honest, Morales, Gutierrez looked great against Morales, but Morales was 1-3 coming into the damn fight. It's not like he was that good. So these lines are off to me. For that reason alone, I think Durden gets the slight edge on my betting perspective of it. Not going to be surprised if Gutierrez wins a decision here, but as far as betting, dog or pass for me.
Yeah, so like Jeff spoke on, Chris Gutierrez is off his, I guess, most impressive performance so far in the UFC. He just, like you said, just leg kicked to death Morales. Morales didn't check anything, didn't really change his game plan, just ate 100 leg kicks, which was tough. Before that, Gutierrez was in a very life and death struggle with Freitas,
which I bet on Freitas and I lost.
Yeah, it was a very close fight.
I think the reason he lost is because he had that cut, and that made it look worse than it really was.
Yeah,
because I felt like he did enough to take him down. We saw Freitas, who was a black belt, take Gutierrez down a lot. But somehow Gutierrez kept getting the fuck back up, and that bothered me. So
yeah,
I don't know, but go ahead. Well, to your point.
But yeah, so now he gets a debutant, Cody Durden, late notice replacement. Durden, though, in the I think I saw 3 fights, all very quick finishes. So that's always tough to know really how good the guy is. But he came forward, rushed forward, head down, double leg, slammed this one guy, pretty much knocked him out off a slam. And then the next fight I saw, took the guy down, got his back, choked him out pretty easily. Gutierrez, he's definitely a UFC fighter, but as Jeff said, I think the line's a little wide. I'm not super high on him. He's very heavily reliant on the leg kicks. Durden has to know that, so he's got to get inside on him, mix it up there, grapple, put him against the cage, clinch up with him, try to get him down, work some ground and pound, work some takedowns. And I actually am going to take Cody Durden in this fight. I've been playing some little DraftKings lineups, and in every lineup I have Cody Durden. So hoping for Durden to just control Gutierrez, win the fight, because I'm going pretty much chalk. Spoiler alert, I'm going pretty much chalk after this fight. So got to spice it up with some dogs. And I think Durden can win this fight.
Yeah, that's funny you said that, because I actually have him in 2 of my lineups. I was going to show you. I feel like I have some dominant lineups minus maybe Durden, who.
But you have to get 1 or 2 of those underdogs to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. The one thing I can say that is a little bit scary, I guess, with Gutierrez, like you mentioned, is he's got the UFC experience, and obviously Durden's coming up, to face a higher level person, and Gutierrez, he did seem to get up somehow from a black belt grappler, so you got to worry about that. This is the exact reason. It's just too close of a fight, in my opinion, and it could go either way. So I think Dogger Pass is the right way to go. But you know what? If you got, $100,000 bankroll and you want to throw $3,000 on Gutierrez, by all means, go for it.
Yeah. So we move on here. Second fight. This is a replacement fight. So Jamal Emmers, he was going to fight Timur Valiev. Valiev drops out. He gets replaced by Vince Cachero. I'm not sure if there's a line on this fight yet.
No, I have not seen one. Nope, there's not.
Okay, because I've seen, so on bestfightodds.com, Emmers opened minus 270. He's now steamed up to minus 340. If
you think he's minus 340 now, is that what you're showing? Because my bookie does not have that.
Yeah, on this.
Okay, so let's go by that. Yeah, it's probably minus 340. That's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, at that price, I would think that Emmers is the way to go. He's still searching for that first UFC win. And the thing that's weird is I didn't like his last fight. Giga, he's not a bad fighter. He's a real good kickboxer, but Emmers just didn't do anything that entire first fucking round, like nothing. So he did come on late that third round. I thought he had chances to win that fight. I think he's just going to be the more athletic guy. And I know that the guy that he's faced has fought in guys like Casey Kinney. I just brought up his record. Casey Kinney, but he lost to Casey Kinney and Joe Murphy. So, I mean, those are pretty 2 names that everyone's heard of. But, I mean, man, I got to go Emmers here. You just a guy off 1 day notice. I mean, literally is coming to face Emmers. This is like a classic Emmers gets his first fight in the USD. They want him to win, so Emmers all the way. I mean,
right.
I don't know what other way you could take it.
Yeah, so we have a comment here by 7 Ninjas. I have a Edmund, Holland, Greg Hardy, and Sugar Sean O'Malley parlay at plus 348.
Like it.
Yeah, we'll get to Edmund and Holland.
We like Sugar Malley too. We've been saying that for months.
Yeah, Sean's minus 280, and then Hardy's fighting Khalil Roundtree. I'm not even sure when that fight is. I know it's in August, but that definitely could hit. So
we like how you stretched that out over a couple of events. Preston did that and went 5 out of 6. He gives you a better opportunity to enjoy the main events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and we can go back and talk about that fight. Torn MCL in round 2, maybe Till actually can move around if he doesn't tear his MCL and win the fight.
Yeah, and this just sucks because we had our main bet on. We already had like $1,600 all riding on Borg, so we're kind of going back to the drawing board. We have some other obviously backups in mind. We'll get to the best bets later, but let's move on because I think Emmers is the only clear option in that fight.
Yeah, Emmers. Emmers is a lot taller too. He's like 5'11". This guy's 5'6".
The length and the other guy's coming up in a weight class. Yep.
Yeah. So Emmers should win. Maybe parlay him. And that's we're gonna go right into another fight. Very difficult to call. This one is Johnny Muniz Jr., who literally today got the fight. against Joseph Nathan Mannis, who was the guy who was going to fight Ray Borg. Ray Borg pulls out today. Jeff just said Ray Borg was our big bet for the night, so we're going to pivot, spin our way to another bet later. But yeah, do you have much on this? I'll be honest, couldn't really find a lot of good tape on John Muniz Jr. From the King of the Cage organization, which is more regional scene. He's 10-0, which is good, but when you look at the records of some of these opponents and him literally winning pretty much all these fights in the first round by submission, seems pretty inflated. So
yeah, so I don't see any lines on that either as well in my bookie. Do you have any? Because I don't.
I see minus 145 on Nathan Mannis. That was the guy who was going to fight Borg. And that guy, so I can speak a little bit on him. He had decent striking, not great, not little grappling, which was why Borg was a very, very heavy popular pick amongst us. And his hands just weren't that great. Like, he wasn't putting people out in the fights I saw. And yeah, he just didn't look that great. But
see, and that's kind of weird because I kind of thought his hands looked decent. I thought he had a pretty nice striking game, and that was pretty much it. And that's kind of what scares me, and that's why.
But I thought Borg had the advantage striking because Borg's last fight was against Simone. Against Simone, he was mixing it up pretty good on the feet. He was just the smaller guy.
Yeah, I mean,
he was getting taken down and controlled there.
Yeah, maybe not volume wise, but yeah, maybe power wise, and it's so weird because Borg, regardless, was going to wrestle his way to a victory in that fight. I have no doubts. Because what I did notice is Mannis didn't have much of a takedown defense.
Yeah, and that was what we were banking on.
And that kind of what scares me of this guy. I'm looking at Munez, and he's, comes from a jiu-jitsu background. I mean, is he going to go straight for that thing?
Yeah,
he's going to go straight for the sub. So.
Yeah, pretty much every fight you see, it's pretty easily for him to take these guys who are overmatched down, and he just chokes them out. So.
And then on the other hand, you're getting a fighter. If you're betting Mannis, you're getting a fighter that's coming off 1 day notice, like not even 1 day notice, maybe 10-hour notice or something, 6-hour notice. Like the dude's literally just stepping up. So
for this opponent,
for this opponent. Yeah. So I mean, it's just tricky, man. I wouldn't even mess with this fight. I guess Nathan Mannis has a little bit of advantage. He's been training for this, and maybe the better striking from what I've seen. But again, I haven't seen enough on Munez. I didn't even study for Munez, to be honest with y'all, because we didn't know about it till what?
Yeah, today. And all the tape on the UFC website is 5 years old in King of the Cage. So
yeah,
pretty hard to get a good opinion there. Seven King says Greg Hardy and Sean both fight on the 15th. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I do like Sean O'Malley, but again, I think he's just a little high, but with your parlay, you're definitely eliminating that juice.
Yep.
So we move on here to maybe a fight we might be interested in. We'll talk it out here. Frankie Saenz taking on Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez was overweight today. He was overweight by 4.5 pounds. So interesting note there. We should have odds on this one, I believe.
Yeah, we do. And is this the next fight? Because I'm showing Ed Herman and Gerald Mearshart, but we'll just play it off. Frankie. Okay, so yeah, so Jonathan Martinez comes in at minus 260. Frankie's catching plus 200, over and under 2.5, over minus 190, under plus 155. Man, I was like, I'm trying to search for dogs here in this scenario. So I think about the ways that, dogs can win. And Frankie, if he wrestled his way to a victory, I guess that could happen. The problem is he is almost 40 years old, and he hasn't really been a straight up wrestler like he used to be 20 years ago. I mean, let's just face it. The guy's lost a step there, and he's small. He's a small, for this division, he's small. Like, these guys are huge now.
Yeah, I felt I bet on him his last fight against Marlon Vera, which was a pretty dumb bet.
And Vera just fucking
once he hit him in the chin, he knocked him out.
And I'll be honest, I think Martinez has all those same tools to get this job done the same way. I mean, Martinez with his hand speed, his striking, I mean, his combinations, his volume, he's gonna put it on Frankie. And yeah, Frankie could probably get him down here and there. but Frankie's not going to hold Jonathan down. He's too small. Jonathan, these guys are scrambling. I mean, they're scrambling fools nowadays. They're not going to lay on their back. They're just not going to do it. So I think Jonathan gets up when he does get taken down. If he doesn't crack Frankie first, and I think he beats Frankie pretty easily. I wanted to try any way I could to take a dog and, take dogs, but I just can't on this fight. I think Jonathan's too good. Comes from a great gym. Those boys down there are straight up just, I mean, they fight to, they're point machines. Like, they're just great point fighters. And I think Frankie, I just don't think he's the same guy, man. I'm going Jonathan Martinez here. Again, though, that line is so high. I mean,
yeah, especially for a guy coming off a split decision loss to Andre Ewell.
But that was controversial.
Yeah, no, he could have won that fight for sure. Yeah.
Very controversial fight. Maybe not a robbery, but controversial. It could have gone either way. But 260, yeah, maybe parlay material. Frankie, I guess I wouldn't say it's necessarily dog or pass. I do think Jonathan wins here, but it's hard to bet it. I'll be honest with that. It's hard to bet it.
Yeah. So kind of what Jeff just said.
You know what? I will say something real quick. Let me just finish up. Under 2.5 plus 155. I think if Martinez can put it on Frankie a few times, he goes down within the distance.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not a bad look, because Frankie, we just said his last bout was against Marlon Vera. Pretty much the first decent punch that landed on him, took him down, put him out. Jonathan has better striking, definitely better stand-up. Frankie's very not super well renowned, but he's pretty much a wrestler. He tries to wrestle, get his opponents down, not laying prey, but just kind of get rounds out and win the fight. Jonathan looked good against that Pingwan Liu. He looked good there. He knocked him out with a hard knee. Mm-hmm. And I think what he can do here is he can jab, and when Frankie shoots, he can throw that knee and hit his body and then just start gassing Frankie out. Now, Jonathan, I'm seeing reports online. People are worried because he came in overweight, that maybe he didn't train as well for this. And if Frankie can get him down, Jonathan might gas out, and then he can control him there. I think we're going to have Clint on tomorrow. I do know he has a bet on Frankie at plus 205. But I do think standing, Jonathan has all the advantages. It's a tough fight.
The thing is, too, is, minus 4 pounds, like, dude, if you're in shape already, it's not a huge deal. I mean, it's really not. I'd rather have the younger guy 4 pounds overweight, not underweight, 4 pounds overweight, than Frankie, who's 39 years old, who Lord knows what his gas sting's like.
Yeah, and that's a good thing you bring up, because I know that's a pretty solid betting trend when you're taking a guy 10 years old, younger or more, that he's going to win. The last one for that was Herman taking on Davi Ramos. Mm-hmm. A lot of people like Davi Ramos, the age difference, and Herman's just going to get better. Jonathan, that's why I liked Darren Till last week against Robert Whitaker. He has more tools in my book to keep getting better. Frankie, I think we've seen the best of him. That was 6 years ago when he fought Uriah Faber. Jonathan Martinez isn't Uriah Faber. He's just a run-of-the-mill bantamweight, basically. But
Jonathan has almost a 4-inch reach. I mean,
yeah, he's the longer, the
bigger guy.
As long as the fight stays standing, this fight could look very similar to what happened to Betch last week against Penny Kinyazad.
Yeah, and we know Frankie's chinny. Like, let's be honest, he's chinny. Like, so
yeah, Jonathan can definitely win. Minus 260, probably parlayable.
But the under, I guess I would take a shot with that personally as a personal bet, just the under 2.5, because unless Frankie's just chain takedowning the whole time, I don't see him knocking Jonathan out. Jonathan, I could definitely see knocking Frankie out. So
yeah, so I think we're both going Jonathan Martinez. We'll see if we can maybe parlay or something. But we move on here to, I think this is the next fight, Trevin Giles versus Kevin Holland. I think this is the first fight on the actual ESPN Plus main card.
Yep. Looks like it, according to Tapology, which I'm looking at here.
Okay, so
Kevin Holland comes in as a minus 210 favorite. Trevin comes in at plus 170, over and under 2.5, over minus 120, under minus 110. Man, pretty good fight, I guess. Kevin Holland, I know, is pretty high not prospect anymore, but he's a good fighter, all around good fighter. I mean, he just got his black belt. We know Giles is a black belt, and Giles is a big dude too, with looking always kind of land that shot and the big heavy hands. You know what I mean? But Kevin here is just all around. God, I feel like he's just huge compared to this guy. If you look at his length and reach advantage and everything else, he's got almost damn near a 7-inch reach. I mean, his height, he's got 3-4 inches on the guy. Very smart. I know I give him a hard time with the IQ, but honestly, after watching some of Trevin Giles's fights, I mean, he might win that award too.
Yeah, he's a guy
because he's put himself in some bad situations with those stupid letdown submissions that he's had on his record. And one of them I bet against him with the Mearshart MG3. That was just I thought he could be winning that fight until he just freaking gave up and gassed out.
Yeah.
The other thing I've heard through the grapevine, I guess, is he's a cop, like he's a
police officer,
working police officer. So that kind of wonders, has he been working or has he been training? What's the deal here? Like, how can you do both at once? I don't know. It seems like it'd be pretty hard. But Kevin Holland all around, I think, is the better fighter, period. The better striking, pretty creative guy, move forward. I think he finds ways to get out of scrambling situations, bad situations. He's very slick as far as getting out of situations. I think Kevin Holland's an easy win here, man. I like him a lot. I think you're going to agree 100% with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So prior to the Ray Borg dropout, Kevin Holland was my number 2 pick for the night, mainly because what you said. Trevin Giles, he's a guy who I've backed a couple times. He came in with a lot of hype, and he just doesn't live up to it. So it looks good. He has a win against James Krause. That looks great. Problem is,
came in off 1 day notice.
That's what I'm saying. And he moved up in weight.
And that was a decision still.
Yeah, split decision, which he could have arguably lost. Prior to that, so he comes into the UFC. I don't bet him his first fight. I think I bet him against Neto. He wins. He's against Zach Cummings. He was only like 180, 190. I'm like, this is an easy win. Zach Cummings is not really a great UFC fighter. Same thing happens. He sort of wins the fight, kind of gasses out, puts his head in a choke, gets tapped out. Next fight, Gerald Mearshart, sort of winning the fight, gasses out, puts his head in a choke, taps out. You can't, against Kevin Holland, he had those instances where he was grappling and losing, putting himself in bad positions. But his losses, you look, Brendan Allen's a very good fighter.
And he was a black belt, I think, or just got to be a black belt or a purple belt, but he was higher on the jiu-jitsu scale than Holland was at the time.
Yeah, and he fought Kyle Dawkins, won a war, that ground war we saw, and he has a loss to Thiago Santos, who is arguably the number 1 or 2 light heavyweight in the world. So not bad losses. Debatable win against Gerald Mearshart. That was the fight where he literally was just rolling around, putting himself in bad positions. Since then, he's gone better, beats Alessio De Chirico, and then he
beat the hell out with that John Phillip, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He looked good there, and then
that was such a quick fight, I think.
Yeah, against Anthony Hernandez.
Oh,
that was
right.
his
Hernandez.
last fight. Yeah, he literally hit him with the knee to the body.
That's right.
And pounded him out on the ground. So I just think Kevin Holland is better all around. I think he has the better gas tank, longer, better jab, better boxing, better kickboxing. Maybe the advantage for Giles, which we've seen, he'll take the opponent down and sort of lay on him, but he gets reversed pretty easily.
Yeah.
And Holland likes to do that. Holland likes to roll on the mat. He'll reverse you. He'll get him in a choke. I think what we have for a round prop, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, I think Holland inside the distance is a good bet.
Under 2.5 is 110, so you're getting good value there.
Yeah, I think Holland inside the distance is a good bet. I think Holland straight, that's probably gonna be where we pin our best bet. And
that's where I think I want to clear up, is I know I've probably have said, yeah, Kevin Holland's IQ, and I know a lot of people say that, but it's just because he puts himself in situations where you think he wouldn't. but
against better grapplers than
but
Trevin Giles.
that true, but it might be calculated too, because he does like to work off his back. I mean, and he is a weird kind of like guy, like he's got a weird style. So
yeah,
I mean, it could be
he
that
throws
too,
a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff and dangerous combinations, and he does work off his back, and he does like to reverse, get real slick in these situations where he'll just scramble at him somehow. So I agree with you, man. He's the only play here, and I just watched a lot of Giles film today, and he's just not as active as you'd like, and I just don't think he's as talented as Kevin Holland. I mean, everyone knows Kevin Holland is the bright future in this UFC.
Yeah, Giles was a guy who I wanted to buy in more, but the 2 losses back to back where he got subbed out by chokes, I was done with him.
And that was straight mistakes. Like that wasn't just that was just piss poor mistakes and bad decisions. So
yeah, I was done with him there. So we move on to Ed Herman taking on a guy who has fought both Trevin Giles and Kevin Holland, Gerald Meerschaert.
Yep. So GM3 comes in as the favorite off 10 days notice or something like that. Or no, it's been a couple weeks now, I think.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Yeah, it was a short notice. Who was Herman's opponent? Was some Chinese guy or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Jay
big prospect.
Yeah, Jay Young or something like that. Yeah.
And he was one of the better prospects in the division from my understanding.
Yeah.
And Herman's been training for that guy. So, Lynch, James Lynch, he works with us over here at Pub Sports Radio and interviews some fighters. He interviewed Ed Herman, and Herman said straight the same thing in the interview. He said, I've been training for a very long time. Like, I feel like he's in good shape. And Herman also knows that he's on the tail end of his career. I mean, let's be honest. He's what, 39 years old, maybe?
Yeah.
I didn't look at his exact age, but he's got to be getting up there. He's got a long, track record of fights. He's got, between 2 of these guys, they have like, 100 bouts or something stupid. But man, when I look at this fight, I feel like they're almost the same type of fighters. They're both slow. They're both okay with their hands. They're not great. Everyone knows GM3 is pretty crafty with the submission game, but Ed Herman is very hard to submit, and he's proven that time and time again. Has good takedown defense. He's going to be the more comfortable guy in his weight division because GM3 is coming up 20 pounds. GM3 just came off a knockout. We don't know what that does to someone's head. We don't know if he followed proper protocol for concussions. Like, from my understanding, if you get concussed, you can't train for X amount of days, this and that. So did that take place? There's a lot of question marks behind Gerald. And I just don't think he's as good as everyone's high on. I know he's got some good win under his belt, some comeback wins. And I know Herman's slow and he's not very good either, but I think Herman's going to have the more power. I think he has a little bit cleaner boxing, to be honest with you. And in the clinch, he's a beast, man. He throws some heavy ass knees. He can hurt Gerald. And on the other side, you got Gerald, who is almost just like Ed Herman, but he is coming off the knockout, short notice. He's coming up in weight. So he's already got a, suspicious gas tank there, in my opinion. And I think the one advantage Gerald has is he's got good footwork. He's a southpaw, which causes problems for people. And he has a fucking killer body kick. And that body kick we've seen fold people, lay them out. So it's a close fight, man. It's a close fight. And when I see a close fight that I think in my head should be a 50-50 pick 'em, I'm going to go with the dog all day. So I'm going Ed Herman here. It was plus 150. I hopped on that with one of my bets. It looks like if we want to pursue him, we're going to have to get him at plus 120. So we're taking a step down. But I like Ed Herman here.
Yeah, so 7 Ninjas comments, Herman had a dad bod at weigh-ins, pass for me. Yeah, so Ed Herman's really a natural. They're both pretty much natural 185ers. Herman's, like you're saying, on the tail end of his career. He's another guy who I can't get right. I bet against him with Kadis Ibragimov. That guy is not a good UFC caliber fighter. He gassed out about 3 minutes into that fight. Herman just beat him up in the clinch, bloodied him up, hit him with some good knees, good elbows. Wins the decision there. Prior to that, he actually did look good. The way he knocked out Patrick Cummings, that was an impressive win. Problem for me, I think this is a pretty big step down for GM3. So he was in a pick'em with Ian Heinisch. Heinisch, the first punch he threw, knocked him out basically right away. Prior to that, GM3 fought Holland, Anders, Deron Wynn. He beat Deron Wynn, who had a huge hype train. That was another guy, gasses out, and he subs them late. Mearshart has the tendency to sub these people late. I think, Herman's going to want this standing. I think Mearshart's going to go for takedowns, and then he'll accept bottom position and be on his back to work his jiu-jitsu and his ground. And I think that's what eventually happens. I think Herman has a good first round. Second round, he gasses. And Mearshart, it's not that he gasses, it's just he has a good knack to utilize his ground game against opponents who do gas. I think that's what happens here. I think this is going to be a very typical GM3 fight where he's probably down on the scorecards 1-0. Round 2 is going to be close. It could be 2-0 Herman, 1-1. Round 3 comes. Herman's dog tired, puts himself in a bad position.
See, and
GM3 gets the sub.
That's where I guess you're banking on, honestly, because I don't see, like, everyone thinks GM3's got some great gas tank too, but they're almost identical. Like, it's a battle of the slow fighters. Like, who's going to be faster?
This is an entertaining fight. Yeah.
And if anything, I see that, like in the clinch, for instance, we know Herman's got some crazy, nasty knees and elbows. And also, man, I just feel like he's being really underrated on his takedown defense and his submission grappling. And Mearshart, I know he likes to work off his back and he's okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Herman's no slouch. If he's on top of you, he's not going to just give up and throw his neck in there. Like, the guy has 45 bouts. He's not stupid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's a live shot here. I'm just going on a hunch, and I
am not wagering this fight. I really have little interest even watching the fight.
Yeah,
honestly.
Me too, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess I'll see Ed out because he was interviewed on Pub Sports Radio, and that's kind of cool. But I'll go with the dog here, Herman, and you got GM3 with rightfully so. So
yeah. So we move on. Rematch time. Lando Venata rematching King Bobby Green.
Yeah, this is fucking kind of a tough fight for me to call, but we'll get into it. Lando Venata minus 160. Bobby Green coming in at plus 130. Over and under 2.5. Minus 290. Under 2.5 plus 230. Man, this is a tough fight here because, I mean, you got to look at Bobby Green's last performance versus Clay Guido. I mean, that was a rough fight to watch.
Yeah,
these two old legends, and I call Bobby Green a legend because we've watched him grow up in Strike Force, and wasn't he? Didn't he come from the Strike Force back when we were? Back in the
he
day?
Fought Strike Force. He fought. I remember when he fought. I remember Affliction, King of the Cage.
And I remember him more from those leagues, to be honest with you, than the UFC, and that's why I kind of allude back to those leagues. And I call him a legend, and he had a hard time finishing Bobby Guido, and Guido won that fight, or no. Green won that fight.
Yeah, he won a decision.
It was close. It was close because he was getting taken down, but Guido could not hold him down.
Yeah.
And that's what I like Bobby, man, because he very tough to keep down, always scrambling, very creative scrambler, gets up. Somehow he always gets up. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in the UFC. Like, no one can hold this kid down.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I don't like about him, he freaking leaves his hands down like a moron sometimes, and it drives me nuts. And yeah, he's a good boxer and he's quick and he's got all the skills, but dude, Lando is a good striker too, and he's got all the skills too. And when you leaving your hands down, and I mean, Lando's gonna tag you up.
Yep,
he's gonna tag you up. The thing that I don't like about Lando is he kind of, when he gets in a little bit of trouble, I feel like he freaking like curls up, like kind of like shells up or something, or and he wears his damage horribly on his face. Like,
he gets cut up.
He gets cut up easy, and it just looks bad. It doesn't look good. Lando, to me, he's a more creative striker. Got the better kicks.
Yeah, good kicks.
Great, combos, good strikes, 1-2 straights. And I think he's faster. I think with the hand speed, I think he does have the edge on the speed, in and out, getting in and out. in creativity. But like I said, and I don't think you have to worry about Lando going in for shooting in for any takedowns in this fight, do you?
Right. No, yeah, this should be a stand-up fight.
Stand-up fight. So, man, it's a tough one. I mean, Green, part of me wants to go Green just because I always like Green. You know, he is a legend in my opinion. And Lando's let me down. I'm going to be honest. I bet on Lando a lot, and it seems like when I back Lando, he lets me down. So I'm going to go with Lando one more time. I think he's got enough to just kind of barely squeak a decision out here, and a little bit more strikes will edge the decision his way.
Yeah. So Bobby Green to me, talked with my brother about it. He reminds me of Charles Crazy Horse Bennett a little bit, how he's a little wacky, not totally all there in his fights. And Lando, he looked good his last fight. He beat Yancey Medeiros, who's, again, primarily a kickboxer, Hawaiian kickboxer. And prior to that, he lost to Mark Diakise, who we just saw get boxed up pretty bad, kickboxed by Fiziev. I just can't back Green off his last performance. That might be recency bias, but yeah, he looked pretty bad against Clay Guida. Clay Guida is not a good fighter anymore. He was very good, but yeah, Guida was able to get him down and work him a bit. Standing, Bobby Green does. He has a good jab. He has a good straight. But Lando just does more. Lando has better kicks. Lando moves in and out. If you rewatch the first fight, Lando was tagging him pretty bad.
Yeah, he should have won the fight.
Yeah,
but he got that illegal knee.
Yeah, because he almost had him put out.
Yeah, he almost had him put out.
And then, the knee happened. And even round 2, he was tagging him even more. So, 7 Ninjas commenting, Lando has more skill, but Green has some momentum with his last win. Definitely passed. Yeah, but the win for Green is nothing to me.
But yeah, is that momentum because he won against Clay Guida, or is that momentum because he had this kumbaya speech afterwards?
Yeah,
which everyone remembered him for.
Yeah, where he was really pumping it up.
Yeah, and he brought in his foster dad, with obviously during the time there was a African American and a white person, and then he was spreading the message, which we all love that. Like, trust me, I have tons of momentum for him on that level.
Yeah,
but I think that kind of overhyped the fight itself.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, I had no interest in backing Bobby Green after that fight. Now, Lando Venata is not like a huge, dangerous fighter,
and that's the problem. It's like,
but he has better kicks. The first fight, he was beating him up pretty bad. That was 3 years ago. So it's been some time. But Lando's fought, to me, more live bodies. Yancey Medeiros is not horrible. The guy before it, Diakise, he's not a bad fighter. Bobby Green's just he puts his head down. Bobby Green. The good thing with Bobby Green is you're always going to get him to get in a fight, so he might make it close. But when watching the fight, and I can almost guarantee it, we're going to watch the fight tomorrow, he's going to get hit more, and he's going to try to mean mug and do some stuff to make it look like, oh yeah, I'm winning this fight, and he'll bitch that he loses the decision, but he's going to lose the decision. And I think Lando wins.
Like, he would rather, look good dodging punches than throwing punches.
Yeah, he does a lot of this.
Same thing with the Guido fight. He was always on his heels against the fence. He did not do anything but get up over and over and over. That's all his whole game plan was. Hey, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up. I'm just going to get up.
And for me, this is Lando all day. I think Lando wins this fight, gets some good momentum, and moves up the ranks, because you can't pick Bobby Green, because even before that he didn't even throw a punch against Trinaldo. Basically, that fight was horrible too. And
Lando freaking does have the former college wrestling in his back pocket, and he's a pretty decent grappler. So I guess if it goes there, he's got an edge too. But I mean, I don't think it's going to go there. Like you said, this is going to be kind of a boxing match.
I think I mean, again, it's at the apex of a smaller cage, but I think a pretty safe bet is over 2.5. I know it's like 280 or 290, but I don't see either guy really getting finished. And I like Lando by decision. So we move on to Vicente Luque. He's taking on Randy Brown, probably the most, besides the main event, best fight of the night. So
yep, could be. We'll see though. But Luque comes in at -200, and Randy Brown's catching +160. The over and under is 1.5. over -190, under 1.5 is +155. Just real quick, I wanted to go back. Did you have any takes besides Lando? I mean, would you take them straight up, or do you like the over and under at all?
Yeah, I mean Lando by decision. I think that's definitely the way to go.
Okay, yeah, they don't have the props yet, so we can't even look that up. But okay, cool. So yeah, so Vincent, Luke.
Yeah,
Luke. I call him Luke. So, man, I mean, this is a tough fight, period, because Luke is just, to me, a very technical striker. Like, but he's got the jiu-jitsu in his back pocket, so that's going to be the key in this fight, in my opinion, and I'll get to that later. But I'll start with Brown, man. Brown, we know Brown. He's very tall, very lanky, super athletic, throws some fucking crazy ass knees that like could probably knock you out, could probably hit your head from standing. Like his knees, he gets them super high. Very, I mean, man, he's kind of a questionable fighter for me, because you look at some of his fights and his record and you're like, man, he lasted a little too long with Mickey Gal. Like, what's that about? I don't understand that fight. He should have dominated that, but he didn't. And I mean, dude, I don't know. This is a tough fight for me, honestly, to call, because I feel like Luque is all around the better fighter in every aspect, every single aspect. But that reach, and I mean, that reach, because I'm not even going to go with the whole damaged goods. Luque has been in wars, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in that shit. I think if he was maybe in his fucking late 30s or 40s, that shit would matter. But the dude's still 28 years old. And Randy Brown's 30 years old. So, he's still the younger guy.
Yeah.
And he's more technical than Randy Brown in all aspects of the game. And we know what he does, dude. He brings wars. He's going to go out there. He's going to get inside. He's going to bring wars. The problem is, can he get inside with Randy Brown? Randy Brown uses his length. He's got a huge length advantage. And actually, I'm getting conflicting reach advantages here. I see on Tapology, it's only a 2-inch difference. That can't be possible. Because I know
Brown's like 3 inches taller than him, so he'll have a decent reach.
Okay, and I know Luque is pretty long for his division, anyways, for just him. But yeah, so Randy Brown comes in a little slightly longer, but I don't think that's enough, man. I think Randy Brown has to fight the perfect fight, point fight. He's not gonna clip Luque and knock him out. I don't think he's not gonna sub Luque. He's not gonna be taking him down over and over again. I think he has to win straight up by points, getting in and out of the pocket, using his length, front kicks, knees in the clinch, those kind of things to win. But I think Luque can win by KO, by submission. I mean, there's multiple ways I see Luque win in this fight. So I'm taking him all the way. I think he's just technically better striker, the better grappler, black belt jiu-jitsu. And I think he wins by sub here. I think we see something a little different here.
Yeah. So I bet against Vicente Luque. His last fight, he fought a rematch with Nico Price. Pretty much I put that bet in because, one, Price was getting like plus 220, and two, Luque was off his loss where, yeah, he took a lot of hard shots against Wonderboy Thompson. I think he got the jitters and the worry out that fight. People are backing Randy Brown because he's off his 2 best wins in the UFC. So he knocks out Brian Barberena, a guy who literally,
come on,
yeah, who went to war with Luque.
Yeah, he's tough as nails, but dude, at the same time, he's stupid too. Like, he leaves his head up.
Yeah, and he didn't block anything at the end. He literally was just standing there eating shot after shot.
And if you want to talk about damage, like, Barberena has more damage than probably anybody. He might even have brain damage at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, the fights he's been. But Luque, and then he taps out Warley Alves, who I don't know what Alves was doing. He pretty much put himself in a triangle choke and gets subbed out. So now he fights Vicente Luque. Luque, like Jeff just said, technically pretty much all around better, and he wants to make it a fight. Luque against Nico Price. Nico Price came right at him, threw a bunch of crazy shit, hit him with some hard shots.
Hammer fist.
Yeah.
From the bottom.
Yeah. And
from the bottom position.
Yeah, that's how Brown got
from Nico.
Yeah, that's how he lost to Nico, right?
I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're taking shots from the bottom position of hammer fist and you're getting
knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, so
you're questionable chin there.
Yeah, so now he fights definitely besides Nico, the hardest puncher he's ever fought, Vicente Luque. And Luque, it's what Jeff just said. A lot of people, they are banking on this notion that he's taken too much damage, and any fight now, one punch is going to knock him out. We haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to, and I don't want to say Randy Brown's going to be the guy to do it. If Luque was fighting a guy like Justin Gaethje, yeah, maybe, because Gaethje hits like a truck, and yeah, maybe he can knock him out. Randy Brown doesn't hit like a truck. Randy Brown doesn't knock people out. And Luque is going to make it a fight because Randy Brown is just going to want to jab, front kick, and like circle away and walk away. Luque is going to be like, F this. Because Luque even won a round against Wonderboy. He won the first round against Wonderboy, and then Wonderboy got his timing down and picked him apart. But Randy Brown isn't nearly the kickboxer Stephen Thompson
Not
is.
even close. Not even close.
Yeah, and Luque is just going to get inside and just punch and knee and kick and elbow. And like you said, if he really puts some damage on Randy Brown might shoot, and maybe Luque does get a sub. I think Luque inside the distance, or you can play him straight. But yeah, I really like Luque. The one thing people are saying, and I will give credit.
Do you think, let me just bring this point up. Do you think Belal Muhammad is as good as Vicente Luque or better?
I
don't think he's that good.
No, probably a better wrestler.
For sure. Oh, yeah,
not striking, no.
So I mean, so
yeah, I think Luque is going to win. The one thing people,
but even grappling is what I'm saying. Like wrestling, grappling, they kind of go together. Luque, I could see get inside and just drag freaking Randy Brown's ass down.
Yeah, he does good with those head and arm like chokes, like the way he can just like grab you and spin you around and get it done. Those are very impressive. And I mean, the big thing people are saying is, if you watch the weigh-in, Randy Brown was like jacked, he was ripped, and Luque wasn't. But I don't care really.
Randy Brown couldn't even finish Mickey Gall. I mean, granted, Gall kind of ran around for a while, but I mean, dude, would you rather take the guy that we know can take damage or the guy that has been knocked out from the bottom position with hammer fist?
Yeah, I mean,
like, come on.
Yeah. The main
damage does nothing. I hate that argument. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, the main thing people, and I mean, I agree. Randy Brown, he's looked the best he has his last two fights.
Yeah,
but that's against, I just said Barberena and Warley Alves. Vicente Luque has been top 15 for like 2 years now. 7 inches comments. Randy Brown looked huge and long at weigh-ins. I like Luque for his clinch work and Muay Thai.
Me too.
But Brown is live, fireball and popcorn fight.
Yeah. Brown, I mean, this is the combat sports, man. I mean, like, come on.
This would be
live, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like
especially Randy Brown, because we're not saying he's a shit fighter. I mean, but you have to take the edge with the better fighter.
Yeah, that's
Luque.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. So you back the guy who we've seen it. He's fought somewhat close with Wonderboy Thompson. He's beaten Nico Price twice. He's beaten Derek Krantz and finished him.
Beat the shit out of Mike Perry. I mean, he's beaten a lot of people.
Yeah, and Randy Brown has a win over Warley Alves. So until he beats a guy like Vicente Luque, and I don't think this price is that outrageous. It's minus 200.
Yeah.
We're not laying 400. So
I would easily drop 1,000 to win 500. That's just what I think that Luque.
Yeah,
I mean, if he wins this fight, he definitely gets a good fight next. Like his next fight will be a good fight with another top maybe 10 guy. I think probably. Yeah,
like a guy who's gonna beat Luque is a better kickboxer and really, I think a wrestler. I think like a decent wrestler would beat him. But I like Luque here, so we're in agreement there. Co-main event is Joanne Calderwood. She takes the fight on short notice against Jennifer Maia. I know we've seen some line movement on this fight.
Yeah, some big line movement, man. And that's what's fucking weird is I hate that because we kind of fell in that trap with Molly McCann. But we'll leave that in the past because we're moving on. Yeah. So JoJo comes in catching the favorite point, minus 150. Maia plus 120. Over and under 2.5, over minus 430. What's new? A women's over that's minus 400. I mean, we see it every fucking card.
And it hits.
So if you got a lot of money and you want to lay that heavy favorite, women's overs always fucking hit. Almost like 85% of the time. Yeah. Okay, and then the under 2.5 is plus 130. Preston, go ahead, man. I know you've been watching this line for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, so
as soon as it got announced.
Yeah, so Calderwood opens like minus 200 and huge reverse line movement on Jennifer Maia. A lot of people like her. We saw so the last fight we saw with some line movement like this was probably Molly McCann, opens 120, goes up to 220. She shits the bed, gets dominated by Talia Santos. And last week, we were cursed again in women's MMA when Marina Rodriguez could not stop the takedown of Carla Esparza, even though she did more damage and dominated her on the feet, couldn't stop the takedown, loses a split decision. So, me personally, I am not going to bet this fight or have much rooting interest. Joanne Calderwood, when watching tape, looks like the better technical fighter. Good knees, good elbows, good solid strikes. Jennifer Maia just kind of comes in, tries to wing bigger shots, but she doesn't throw a lot. And that's why you have to side with Calderwood. At least she throws, she moves, she punches more, she knees more, she gets inside. She doesn't get wiped out in a fight, which is good. Like, so at least yet she hasn't gotten really wiped out. She got controlled by the girl I just said, Calvillo. She got controlled there, but Calvillo can do that to a lot of people. She lost a fight that arguably she won against Caitlin Chookagian. Chookagian has wins over Calderwood and Maia, and Chookagian just throws a lot of punches, doesn't really land much, and wins decisions. And once she fought the champ, Shevchenko, she got taken out pretty easily. So, yeah, I'm going to take Calderwood here. I think Calderwood just is technically better. Jennifer Maia, I think her game plan, what it should be, is to clinch, get a body lock takedown, and try to work some ground, because that's where she probably has an advantage if she does have an advantage. But, yeah, if this fight stays on the feet, I think Calderwood mixes it up more, does more striking, wins a decision, moves to maybe top 5, and, gets a top 5 opponent in her next fight. So, yeah, I'm going to take Calderwood by decision.
Yeah, and you alluded to Maia, like that is her best path to victory, and we see it all the time. Like, she's not really a wrestler, but she's more, she comes down that Muay Thai stance, and she's more of that kind of striking. But what she does is she's like to get in that clinch game and really just hold people against the fence for all 15 minutes if she can. Like, that's her game plan. And I don't think she's going to take this to the mat. She could, but man, I think JoJo is, to me, this is a tough fight for her. Like, why would she pass up the title shot to take this fight for short notice? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think it's just because she hadn't fought in almost a year, but yeah.
I mean, you think it's just a little like tune-up or something
just to get, probably, just her skills better, maybe to show that she's improved, so she's more live against Shevchenko. But
it's also a risky fight to take if you're in line for the title shot, and I mean, we've seen it time and time again. This is UFC. Anything can fucking happen.
With like Ferguson. Ferguson takes Gaethje. He didn't have to take Gaethje, and then he loses. Now Gaethje's fighting Khabib in October.
Yep. But I expect Calderwood. She is going to be the faster, sharper. She does move forward. She controls the octagon really well. She's going to land the harder shots. She has a great jab, uses it, pretty damn good. 1-2s, great stand up. I mean, she's the better wrestler in my opinion. She's going to outpoint, and I think her volume is going to dictate this fight, and I think she wins it. I guess you worry a little about the layoff and the short notice and things like that, but I think Calderwood is all around the better fighter. She's got that Scottish freaking Braveheart mentality, and she's a warrior, man. I'm gonna take her for the decision here.
Yeah, and then Seven Ninjas comments, friends don't let friends bet on women's MMA.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah, if I'm buzzed enough, I'll bet JoJo live. And I completely agree. We've gotten burned. It's 2 fights in a row.
Big time.
Yeah.
We learned our lesson, though, because I think that's about it for us.
I mean,
unless it's Nunes or someone dominant.
It's Nunes, it's Shevchenko, it's Rose was a win. because we thought she had a clear advantage against Andrade, but even that got a little close, but she definitely won that fight. So, there are some good fighters to take in the women's division, but you want to take the top fighters. I don't know if Joanne Calderwood's necessarily there right now, but we'll see after this fight. So move on. Interesting fight. I don't know if it's necessarily main event worthy, but it's an interesting fight. Derrick Brunson takes on the new kid on the block, Edmund Shahbazyan.
Shahbazyan comes in as the huge favorite. Is it the biggest favorite of the night? No, Emmers would be that probably.
Yeah, Emmers.
Other than that, it is. Though. Other than that, it is.
Yeah, and Gutierrez was, but yeah, he was, but
now it's down.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so Shahbazyan comes in at minus 345 versus Derrick Brunson, catching plus 270. The over and under 1.5 is over 110, under minus 120. Do we expect to see this go over 1.5? Because I don't think, but maybe one of Edmund's fights has gone over.
Yeah, 1.5 this should be a round one finish.
Finish. Yeah. Well, then I'll let you start since you think so highly. You have your mind made up. I think 90% of the world does too.
Yeah, and that's what my worry is. So yeah, Edmund Shahbazyan. So I actually bet against Edmund Shahbazyan against Charles Byrd, which was a very stupid bet. But the way he won that fight was Byrd had him against the cage. Edmund literally just did those, I think they're illegal elbows against the cage to the side of the guy's head.
I agree.
Finishes him, wins that fight. Next fight gets a layup against Jack Marshman. Marshman is not a good fighter. Edmund gets him down, taps him out quick. Then he fights Brad Tavares. Moves very well, hits him with a good jab, hits him with a good solid straight right, backs Tavares to the cage, and throws a very quick head kick to knock him out. Looked very good. Now he moves up, fights Derrick Brunson. Edmund's on the Israel Adesanya path. Adesanya beat Brad Tavares. Who was his next fight? Derrick Brunson. What did he do to Derrick Brunson? Round one finish.
Knees and punches to the face.
Yeah.
With body.
Yeah, he just finished him. Derrick Brunson, though, is off a 2-fight win streak. So he beats Ian Heinisch. Prior to that, he beats Elias Theodoro. Brunson has to use wrestling. So he does have wrestling in his back pocket. 90% of the time he doesn't use it. So he prefers to start the fight standing, wing heavy shots, try to clip you, drop you, knock you out. Against Edmund's movement is going to be too good to get clipped and knocked out that way. If Brunson can utilize some wrestling, I believe this is a 3-round fight, even though it's a main event because it's a short notice main event. So Brunson could maybe steal 2 rounds and win a decision. I don't think that's going to happen. Brunson's very chinny. 1 or 2 solid punches on his chin puts him out. And Edmund's look good. Edmund's the golden boy. We saw Dana White did a Periscope with Edmund,
Ronda.
And Edmund's manager, Ronda. So, he definitely wants him to be propelled to the top.
Ronda's been throwing Edmund around for decades.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go Edmund, round 1 KO. Pretty chalky. And I will say this, though, the line is too wide. I would make the line 225, not 350. And there's a good chance this line could get to 400 tomorrow. So Edmund's probably parlayable. Maybe Edmund in round 1 if you can get a
this does
better odds.
Yeah.
But,
I will be honest, man. This does scare me because that freaking main event underdog is due. It is due.
Yeah, and we've had
too many favorite underdogs.
Yeah, this is one where if Brunson utilizes a decent game plan, actually wrestles, grapples, I don't think he's going to tire Edmund out, though, because Edmund's going to have the gas for 3 rounds. 7 Ninjas commented, said it's a 3-rounder. They don't want Brunson stealing the 4th and 5th round. Edmund all day.
Yeah.
And it's pretty chalky, but I got to go with Edmund here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So Brunson, we all know he's big, strong, explosive, a great athlete, but man, and he has 1-punch knockout. He has that capability in his hands. He can knock you out with 1 punch. He comes in extremely crazy that first round and just recklessly throwing punches left and right and
he just
leaving himself wide open. And it's almost like, dude, if you don't get Edmund finished in that first round, Edmund could easily counter and just crack the shit out of your chinny ass. Mm-hmm. He needs to slow down on that game plan. We'll see if he's wizened up a little bit, because that's not going to work against Edmund unless he does clip him somehow and gets lucky. That's always a possibility.
Yeah.
But the way he comes in and swarms, just to me, it hurts his style. because he doesn't get a chance to wrestle. I mean, he gets clipped too much, and then he got lucky the one time where he got clipped and then fell into like dragging someone down. Who was that against?
Yeah, that was the last one, right? Against Ian Hines.
Yeah. Where he almost.
Yeah, it was he got hit with a head kick, and he got him on the ground like 10 seconds later.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, we could see that happening, but and as everyone said on all the other videos, we've seen Edmund get past the round one time, and it did get dicey, but he was facing a very good wrestler with Derrick Stewart. And I know a lot of people even had Stewart that night for the upset, right? He was the underdog.
Yeah, he should. So. Yeah, he should have been. Yeah.
So we've seen Edmund, but Edmund proved to us, but he can get out of these bad situations. Like he can scramble. So I don't think the wrestling's going to be a big deal. Edmund all the way, man. He's the Wonder Boy. I mean, he's the new golden boy. I think of us, and he rightfully so. He's 22 years old.
Yeah,
21, 22.
Yep, really young.
I mean, dude, look at his fights. Like he's just been destroying people. He's got quick hands, very fast combinations, and head kicks pretty brutal. Like he can knock anyone out with that head kick that comes out of nowhere. His wrestling we saw has been tested. He looked good in that department as far as being able to get out of situations that a lot of people couldn't have. And I like him a lot in this fight. Brunson's a good gatekeeper, but I mean, like you said, unless he uses his All-American wrestling and somehow has the gas tank to just lay on top of Edmund, and Edmund can't not get out of it, I don't see him winning this fight in any aspect.
Yeah, and then I already saw, I was watching Helwani in DC on Monday. Helwani brought up if Edmund wins that they should book Edmund versus Darren Till. Which I would not want to see because I like both guys. So hopefully they don't do that, but we'll see. I think we're in agreement there. So Edmund, round one, we can let's hit some sponsors. As always, if you guys are watching us live, we're based in San Antonio, Texas. So go to Natural Heights, located on 1880 Nacogdoches Road. If you suffer from stress, anxiety, joint pain, PTSD, insomnia, go get yourself some CBD oil at Natural Heights. If you can't reach them in the store, give them a call at 210-592-1060. And if you watch our show enough, we use mybookie.ag to bet. Enter promo code PubSports, deposit $99. You will get a 50% deposit bonus match. And that's where we're going to use tomorrow for bringing back Flip That Cash.
Yep, since we blew our wad on
Marina Rodriguez. So we're going to restart. The goal, as always, is 500 to 10K. And then, we're going to try to get it tomorrow on the main card. But we'll hit you with some best bets.
And the goal is this right here. We're trying to raise that 10K to get to Vegas. Have a party with all y'all guys and have some fun, man. We're going to hook up with Ski Profit out there and then some other colleagues that we work with. And we want to celebrate. We want to buy everyone dinner and, come out and have some fun. We'll figure out something to do, man. Maybe go to catch a Raiders game at.
Yeah, because football looks like it's coming back.
I don't
know if we can go in the stadium, but it looks like football's coming back. College football, they're announcing it. So,
and I actually saw that they're, like Dallas Cowboys, for instance, which I'm not a fan of, but they are not allowing season tickets, but they're still allowing tickets. So I guess that's just so they're going to have social distancing at the games. They're still going to have fans.
Okay. Cool.
That's kind of cool. But I will say real quick, because we're watching an NBA game, I really dig the whole digital fan thing. I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah. I've been noticing it as well. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. But anyways, man, we hope we can cash some money. Let's see what's our best bet here.
Yeah, so I'm going to go pretty simple. It was Ray Borg. Ray Borg drops out. Told Jeff about my second one. It's Kevin Holland. I don't see Kevin Holland losing this fight. Kevin Holland needs the win. He gets a win here. He moves up. He goes top 15 at middleweight, and then he gets a pretty tough fight. So, you got to lay 210. I'm pretty sure we're going to lay it. And then make sure you join us live tomorrow. Jeff, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the only bet that we really talked about.
Maybe Luke K, but
yeah, maybe Luke K. We want to win the Holland one, obviously, first, and then we could roll some over to Luke K. But I like Holland too, man. I think he's kind of right now. We were on the same page with Borg, and that's gone. So really, I mean, besides taking a shot on a couple dogs here, like
I like Durden. I do think Durden can win.
Yeah,
but
I mean, taking
you
a shot on Durden,
the 5 to win 1250.
Yeah,
that's a risky.
Yeah. I mean,
bet.
It all depends on your bankroll, of course. So, but yeah, Durden, take a shot with Durden. I'll take a shot with Herman. Herman now up to plus 130. So it's going the opposite way. That doesn't look good for me. Kevin Holland, man, that's my best bet. Let's just make it short and sweet. And then second one, Vincent Luque.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So as always, guys, make sure we will be live tomorrow. The fights are on ESPN Plus. So
I'll just throw something different out there. Okay, I'm going to say the Jonathan Martinez under 2.5 plus 155.
Yeah, that definitely can happen too. So yeah, like I was saying, make sure to join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Fights are on ESPN Plus. So if you don't have ESPN Plus, get yourself an ESPN Plus account. So we'll be streaming here. We should have our main guy, Clint from Die Hard MMA Podcast, joining us
for the stream. And we have a new shirt we will reveal tomorrow on the show.
Yeah, hopefully we can get, I know, and we're right there with Clint actually this week. We do agree with them. Last week we didn't, but this week we agree with them on some fights. I know he's all over Holland and Edmund. So sweat out Kevin Holland and Edmund with us tomorrow. So
yeah, maybe we tie those two up, get a double parlay working, and save some juice on Edmund and go to town.
Yeah, that's Clint's biggest bet. So yeah, make sure to join us. Our reactions sometimes are good, sometimes are bad, but hey, it's real money, guys. Yeah, like always, this is Talking Hands. We will see you tomorrow, and enjoy the fights. So have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Hit that subscribe button.
As always.